live. Let's see what happens. We are now live. All right, so we just started going. They heard me singing.
Sweet.
Unintentional, but there it is.
Okay.
Did you guys find it?
I think I'm in there. I think I'm
Okay.
Yeah,
here.
I refreshed
Hello.
it. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Jem, Starlight.
All right, so those of you who are joining us, just be aware the way that the system works is we're a little bit behind you guys joining us. We're really glad you guys could join us. Feel free to type anything into the chat.
Hi, Canada.
Canada. Where did you see Canada? Oh, later for me. You guys hear okay?
I can hear
Yes.
you. I can hear you.
Nicole, thank you for the support and watching our movie 8 times.
Oh, because you can hear it through Zoom. Okay. How are we doing sound-wise? Anybody? If we hear any feedback cycles or anything weird on coming from YouTube? Nicole, thank you so much for finding the movie worth watching 8 times. I think that's very exciting. Hey, Taylor, thanks for joining us. All right, so I guess while we're hanging out, if you guys want to ask questions, feel free to ask questions of any one of us. But while we're waiting for your questions to come through, maybe you guys can make comments about the short films that just came out, like favorite moments or things that you enjoyed about getting back together again and filming again, that type of thing.
Oh, us? Are you talking to the
Yeah.
YouTube?
It was fantastic getting back with the More Than Only group, clan, club. What are we creating here?
I like clan.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's very Scottish.
Go ahead, Bjorn.
It was old habits, but it had a different energy this time, a little more, or maybe it was the whole COVID thing, but it was a little more ramped up. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it felt like on the one hand, just like picking up right where we left off, like when you see an old friend after a long time and you just start right back into it. On the other hand, it was very different with the filming restrictions and all of that with COVID.
Yeah, the energy was a lot different, but picked up where we left off. What about you, Beth?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Filming restrictions.
Oh, let me mute that. Yeah, no, I agree. It was kind of bizarre, I think, coming into the situation and feeling like really no time had passed. And I don't think we've seen each other at all for at least 3 years, right? Like since the actual premiere in Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was nice because I feel like rarely we get to actually film with the same group again. And like even the crew being identical was pretty cool. So I think the only newcomers to that were Joe and Chelsea. So
Sure.
Introduce Darren at the bottom of the screen.
And seeing their perspective was
Who's
kind of like an outsider's perspective with an inside look.
Yeah, it was great having like a lot of familiar faces from the original team, like Isaiah and Darren Hartman, who's here with us, our cinematographer. But yeah, having some fresh faces. Chelsea was great. She was our new AD, and she was really on top of it with like keeping us all COVID safe during filming. So that was a comfort. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just saying Joe Bowden, also Joe Bowden, a new face, but an incredible, I don't even want to call him I guess you'd call him a gaffer more than a grip at this point with all the lighting work he did and everything. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. It's almost like he was a second DP.
Sure. Yeah.
what was it like for you, Maggie?
Yeah, it was good and weird because I hadn't seen them in like 3 years, and I had only seen them for a day before that. But it was cool, and they were super fun to be around.
Yeah. What was our first meeting? Do you remember, Jonathan? With Jonathan and I meeting Maggie, we met for 1 day or 2 days, and we played some games, or did we read some stories? Do you guys remember?
All of the above.
On a sunny day at the beach.
Yeah. I had a question about that. Was that last scene post credits in episode 3? Was that from the original? Okay. Yeah. Love that shot.
I think that was the end cap on the first film too, after all the credits. I didn't even notice it was there until just now when we were rewatching it. I was just like, credits. We know what they say.
I know who's in those. We know who's in those. Who watches the credits anyway?
Not the actors. Oh, we know who to credit. We know we're on first name basis.
I make sure you guys spell my name right, so I had to.
Not Bjorn?
Not Bjorn.
Not Bjorn.
We
Oh,
noticed a
okay.
few weeks ago his name was spelled incorrectly in the credits, and we quickly got it changed at the last minute.
Oh, apparently someone did misspell your name in the credits for the first rough draft.
Did they forget the umlaut, or was it?
They forgot the
Exactly.
silent Q.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Typical mistake.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh. Oh, Justine is from Hong Kong. Wow. Hi, Justine. What time is it there? My
I don't know.
goodness.
It's Jen started to watch the short film.
Hmm?
She said she's looking forward to watching the short films. I just wondered if she did.
Oh, and it looks like Gem Starlight's asking about the short films. Can't wait to watch them. Well, if you haven't watched them today, they are up now, so you can go watch them. Ideally, after we're done talking. I mean, you could leave right now too, if you wanted, but you know,
No hard feelings. It's understandable.
it's chill. That's funny. And somebody's asking if we're going to make more.
Should I point out?
I think that's a Michelle question.
All right, we'll let Michelle take the floor.
Oh,
I always forget to unmute, sorry. As far as making more, right now we are officially in planning on doing 3 more episodes, hopefully this summer. Of course, is COVID related. So I'm hopeful that we will get to film early midsummer, depending on that. So we're currently writing, I'm currently writing episodes 4 through 6. And if we can continue on from there, we certainly want to. We have a group of fans that have been super dedicated to financially supporting us and getting us this far. The ones who were some of our bigger contributors are noted in the film as co-producers. Most of those people gave in the thousands towards the first 3 films and have given in the thousands towards the next 3 films. But our lowest tier of support, if you visit us on Patreon, which you can see in the details of most of our videos, I don't honestly know if it's in the details of this one. We have a Patreon account where, if enough people supported us at $5 a month, we can keep going. And as long as the cast is willing and the crew is willing, I'm game, because I love writing for Michael and Justin and Brooke and Mandy. I think it's a fun group. So yeah, so support us and we'll keep going as long as you guys will keep watching.
Yeah, I guess I'll just take a second to say thank you again to everybody who's joining us today. And thank you so much for everybody who's supporting the project financially. I can't tell you how rewarding it is to have folks out there all around the world who are interested in seeing more from us. And yeah, it's dream come true, really. So thank you so much.
Somebody just asked if there's a DVD.
Oh, as someone is asking if the short series is going to be on DVD. And yes, it is. We were actually uploading it to our website just before the short series aired a couple hours ago. But then there was the server is down on that website today. So it will be up, hopefully within the next 24 hours. But yes, to answer your question. And I know Michelle has talked about making the original and the shorts available on Blu-ray too, because a lot of you have asked about that. I think they're still figuring out the semantics with that technically, but that's likely a thing too. Yeah. Oh, also too, and I think that's something that someone was going to talk about later, but for anyone who doesn't know or is new to More Than Only or just found it recently, there's also different kinds of merchandise available on the website too. And there'll be new stuff for the short series, as well as the feature film. That stuff is still available too. So there's t-shirts or hoodies or cups or bags, the DVD, stickers, posters. There's various things with faces and quotes from the movie on it. So make sure to check those out. And all the profits go directly back into filming costs, other than the costs to actually make the item. But yeah, so however you can support, anyone can support, or just sending loving words of encouragement and kindness. It's a great kind of support too.
And if they have the artistic ability, they're able to create their own design and send it to that website, I think, as well.
If they wanted to, they can do that. Yeah, they can also send it to us and we can make it. There's some limitations within what's possible in the website we use. But yeah, people are able to send an email with what they'd like on a shirt if they want a customized one. That's totally a thing. So hit us up if that's something you want.
Thomas, thanks for the Michael RN hoodie.
Yeah, also feel free to drop in the comments somewhere if there's a kind of design you'd just like to see available in general, because I think they're looking to gauge what it is about the shorts you guys liked that you would want on merchandise items.
Justine, thanks for waking up at 4 a.m. today to watch the premiere. That's amazing.
Are you talking about the person who came from Hong Kong?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Thank you so much for finding us worthy of a 4 a.m. wake up call.
Brooke's character would never do that.
Which character?
Or Brooke herself.
Oh, Brooke. It's being mean to Brooke. But Beth wouldn't do that either. So that's what makes them very, very, very much alike. Also, I wanted to mention, because we got asked this a lot after the feature film came out about is more than only a book. So from taking everybody's ask for it to become a book, I actually found a author and asked her to help me turn it into a book. So it is going to be hopefully in the next few months, and it will be an ebook. So it will just be available online through our website, but it's great. It's been a great experience watching it kind of transform and get to really explore some areas from the feature film that the film itself didn't get a chance to explore very deeply, including how Justin and Brooke met, some more about the parents and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. Can you expand on what you said about I would like to see something that's related to mental health issues? Are you talking about with these characters, or are you talking about it like in a film in general? Can you expand on that? Yeah, that's fine.
Michelle, is that, if I recall, there's a potential storyline that does involve one of the characters seeking therapy to deal with a crisis in their life.
Yes. Yeah. The next 3 episodes that are being written right now, day-to-day life, I think, is a struggle for all of us in many, many ways. And we have the characters all kind of facing different issues that don't necessarily surround Justin's core story, which, what used to be his core story regarding his parents. We will touch on that. We will get back to that.
Wait, what? It's not all about me? Are you saying that it's not? Oh, I don't know about that.
Sorry, Jonathan. Universe? Jonathan. Let's just make sure we put that way into perspective.
Okay.
I'm just sorry. Train of thought.
Sorry, Michelle.
Jonathan.
So you're talking about expanding the story and getting into some of the backstory for other characters.
Yeah. Just kind of opening up the other characters a little bit too. I mean, Michael and Justin have a teenage daughter now. So that whole dynamic and really exploring that, and Brooke a little bit more and kind of opening up her story, and who is she other than, the surrogate of their child. Michael is still a registered nurse. He still works in the ER, and the kind of challenges that come with a nursing career that can certainly lead to some pretty intense moments in your life. And so we're going to kind of explore that with Michael. And that's what Jonathan was kind of hinting at was, that sometimes all of us, regardless of our typical roles as humans, need help. Michael may find himself in that situation in the next few episodes. And so just like the film, a lot of people always comment about the moment that Justin takes care of Michael after the ride, and Justin becomes the caretaker. And I think a lot of people said that was the moment that they truly fell for these characters, was when Justin flipped and became the caretaker. And so in the next 3, you'll kind of see the roles reverse a little bit. And that's just the dynamic of this relationship, is that they're both there for each other unconditionally and will work through whatever comes their way. And so, you get to see how Justin steps up into that role, despite what is going on in Justin's life at that moment, which makes it complicated. I was trying to read your comments.
Nicole, thank you for sharing. That's very sweet of you.
I know that there's a little bit of a lag from with us talking and you guys hearing our reactions. But yeah, share with us, Nicole, if you want to. What moment or what thing watched or enjoyed. And I had a lot of people telling me it was making me cry. I hope it made you smile by the end, just like the film. I'm touched that people have that kind of a strong emotional reaction to the films. But hopefully in the end, you also felt satisfied and felt like it came full circle. And it was so therapeutic to see it all. I'm gonna mispronounce your name, and I apologize up front. But thank you for your comment regarding the complex relationship between Justin and his dad. If any of you want to comment on that as well. But I think it's always important to recognize, and that's what the film was trying to say, was, you know, sometimes your biological relationships are not necessarily the ones that are going to carry you through really difficult things. And I know a lot of LGBT community members, whether they are young or older and out of the house, have to face that. And sometimes knowing, you know, that it will be okay, that there is love out there for you and there is support out there for you. So never give up. I just muted.
Yeah, very
Oh,
very important message.
I will check. Oh, I don't have a neck.
I've never really
I don't have a neck.
I've never really thought about the aftermath of coming out, or Jonathan or Justin, you know, losing his family members or loved ones, and that's something very interesting that you decided to deal with. It's very compelling.
Yeah, and I think it's important to, you know, I think we've had a lot of feedback from the original film. You know, people are excited that it had a happy ending, that it was a happy story. But at the same time, it's important to, you know, address the reality of what it's like to be rejected from your family of origin. And and we're seeing a comment here from Ashley. I got to tell you, we've all become pretty emotionally invested in these characters ourselves over the years. So we're right there with you. Oh, Michelle, we got to unmute you.
They were asking, like how, Jonathan, you kind of took the wheel on bringing in that concept of PTSD towards Dennis's character and how that evolved. If you wanted to share any of that, because I think we talked about it during the Zoom premiere.
Sure. I mean, I can't claim credit for taking the wheel exactly, but Michelle and I did have a lot of back and forth about, you know, where are these characters now? What's happened in the years since the end of the film and the beginning of the short film series? And I just, you know, Michelle as a director has always been so open about it being a two-way street. You know, once we were selected to play these characters, we, you know, were granted part ownership, so to speak, of them. And Michelle's very respectful of our, you know, approach and our perspective on who these people are and what they're experiencing. So just through that kind of dialogue about where these characters are at, this idea that that Justin still has a lot of emotional baggage to resolve from the film. Justin and Michael and Brooke and Mandy, for that matter. Of course, all the credit goes to Michelle for writing these incredibly beautiful scripts and storylines. And I just couldn't be more grateful to have this kind of freedom as an actor to develop these characters. So thank you so much to Michelle for that. And it looks like somebody's asking questions about Justin's parents, Justin's mom.
I saw the question there asking about, will he reconnect with his mom? Interesting that you ask about the mom. I get a lot of questions asking, will he reconnect with the dad? or talk to his dad, which is was suggested again during when we were streaming the short films. Somebody had commented that he really needed to talk to his dad. And from the feature film, Justin didn't get any closure from his dad. And I think that's one of the very real reasons that he still has some PTSD issues. So yes, the short answer is yes. I think we will see one of them in the next few episodes. And then, hopefully the ones that follow that, he'll get his opportunity, I think, to say what he needs to say. And hopefully seek some closure. So without saying too much, the short answer is yes.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks have told us after watching the film that they noticed the character of Justin's mom doesn't have a lot of dialogue. But the way Gina played it, you see a lot of things happening internally in that character, and a lot of conflict with her relationship with her son. So that was an incredible performance from her, and I'm excited to see how that develops in the coming episodes.
Yeah, agreed. In episode 2 of the short films, the woman that was cast to play the mom, I've known her for years as a performer in my children's theater, but her and Gina actually know each other. They've known each other for years because their kids grew up together. Or not their kid, I'm thinking of someone else, but that is still Kelly, sorry. Anyway, but Kelly and Gina look a lot alike, and they were all intentionally cast because they all look so similar to the people who played Justin's parents and their mannerisms and behaviors. So it was all very intentionally set up to be that trigger for Justin. But she was also very meek, very quiet, and shut down very quickly when basically silently instructed by her husband that her conversation with Justin was over. Very similar to Gina's character.
Yeah, and it definitely deserves to be said that Terry, who played that awful dad in that scene in the thrift store, is also a lovely, lovely man. I've worked with him in the past. We worked on a production of Julius Caesar years ago, and he played Caesar, which also not a nice guy, but what a sweetheart as a real person. So just putting that out there.
I saw a comment from somebody, and I know while we were posting kind of teasers of the 3 upcoming short films, there was a behind the scenes video where Jonathan made a comment that he was now going to go have a fight with his husband. And I got so many comments that people were so afraid that they were going to fight. And I had a comment just come through that you were relieved because you were worried for them, that the ending here again just kind of showed them strong and still very much dedicated to one another. And as far as like our plans for these characters, they're in this is them, and this is their path and their journey. And they both recognize that journey involves them as a couple, and then their lives as they involve Brooke and Mandy. And, they have their priorities quite straight. They're going to face struggles. They're going to have fights. They're going to do what every other couple does, but they're going to always work through it. I got the feeling that in the feature film, she was fed up. You guys see that question?
Yeah, it sounds like that was about Gina's character. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was an amazing moment that Gina delivered in the feature film after the phone call where the dad was on the phone with Justin, who was still in the ICU and getting ready to be released from the hospital. That Gina gave, where just when we did the first take and she put her hand on her wedding ring and started spinning it. It's like in that subtle moment, you just kind of understood that her life is a little more complicated than it may seem. And again, hopefully we'll get to explore that and kind of understand what was happening for her. Plus, they are super cute together. I mean, look at them, right? Yeah, they're not hard to look at. They're cute guys.
Oh, shucks.
Oh, shit.
Without giving too much away, I'm also excited to see or delve into the relationship of Brooke.
You mean like what you know is happening in the next 3 strips with her?
Right, without talking too much about it, you know.
No spoilers.
Without giving out a lot of spoilers.
I love
Yeah.
seeing where that's headed. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, me too. That was a lot of fun to explore. And I think like Jonathan said earlier, as far as directing goes, you know, I've been doing theater for many years. And this is my first feature film. It was my first screenplay. I've written plays for theater, but I've never done a screenplay. But my directing belief has always been the same, that if you're going to give somebody a role, you need to trust them. You need to hold them up and allow them to explore on multiple occasions. Either Jonathan or Bjorn or Beth and Maggie in this show, because she actually had lines that were scripted, would come to set and they would say something completely different than I heard it in my head when I was writing it, or they would come with a different emotional intent, or they would just present something that I wasn't expecting. And sometimes in my head, I would fight it for a second because I was like, oh no, that's not how I heard it at all. But I let them do it because sometimes, you know, and most of the time, actually, what they brought to the table made it more interesting or more, it furthered the character's story. And sometimes I would say, why did you take it that direction? So rather than saying, no, that's all wrong, you know, I would say, you know, why did you take it that direction? And I remember I said that to Bjorn once, and he literally said back to me, well, it was in the writing. And I was like, oh, you know, because it's like, great, you know, that's what I did. But
you know, sometimes I interpret wrong though, so I don't know.
no, but see, that's just it. And I think it's what Jonathan was saying, was that, you know, if I'm going to give somebody a character, I'm going to give them the character and allow them to play. I think it's extremely important. And so just like that, you know, Beth and I got to have some conversations regarding Brooke. And, you know, as the series continues, what does that mean for Brooke? How does she continue to interact? And is her life 1000% this core? You know, is that her whole life? And so kind of getting to explore that, give her some challenges, give her some, you know, a little bit of a storyline, and how Michael and Justin support her through her storyline as well. So I'm looking forward to that. I love this. Brooke is a whole mood. I love her character.
Yeah, she's 1000% a whole mood for sure.
Yeah. And I think some of Brooke is going into our daughter.
Yeah, that's the funniest thing I've read all day. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate that. I think I just want to put that on a t-shirt. I am a whole mood. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. The next set of episodes, because I know when Michelle decided that we were going to film these 3, and I don't know if she's publicly mentioned that or privately, but the first 3 episodes that she actually wrote are not the 3 that you just saw, because she wrote them like just before COVID hit. And there were a ton of really big group scenes that were clearly not going to be able to be filmed. So she was like, okay, we'll put those on the back burner. And the 3 you saw came about with Jonathan's input and where they kind of went with the emotions about his dad. But then when it was clear that we were going to be able to film again, thanks to a couple really generous donors, yeah, she was kind of able to like open up the storyline even more to kind of dive into Mandy and a little deeper with her, and myself, Brooke, which I'm super stoked about. So I guess without saying too much, really, the biggest thing you'll get to see in the next series is just kind of a different side of Brooke. Because like up until now, we've really just kind of known her as like some comic relief and just kind of like the goofy friend who always has something like smart to say or sarcastic, which I mean I love playing that. That comes super naturally. But I'm excited to kind of dive into some dramatic stuff. And we'll get to meet Brooke's boyfriend. So we'll get to meet her partner in the next set of episodes, which will be pretty cool. Let's see. I like the idea of Michael's parents adopting Justin. Yeah, no, in the first episode, we met Greg and Lisa playing Michael's parents, and they were a hoot to work with. And I think I hadn't met them until that day. I don't think any of us had. So that was really cool, kind of bringing in some new family members to the picture. I mean, the actual filming of it was great. The weather that day was horrible, but yeah, I think it was 102 degrees. Yeah. And unfortunately, to get the lighting as beautiful as it was, so Darren could get the perfect shot that he wanted, which made it all worth it. Joe, the gaffer, had hung all these huge, thick black curtains just outside of the big window that was in front of us. And so the sun was just coming through this black curtain onto everyone in the room. And of course, because you'd hear it in post if we had any fans or AC running. So I know between like every take, the things you guys never get to see is all of us just sitting there going, like wiping sweat. And you're like, okay, do I look like I've just been sitting here like totally chilled and, not in 110 degree weather? But yeah, no, anyway, I got a little off topic. It was great working with them. And I'm curious what you guys thought about them, because I think they were really the only new family members you met, other than the other kind of walk-in roles that were in the series. Aw.
Does that mean Justin's his little bear cub?
Well, now I want to know what everyone's name in Norwegian means. That's so cute.
Right?
That's awesome. I'm going to Google that when we're done here. Note to self. Yeah.
Bjorn, my family with their Swiss heritage always called me Johann. Is there like a similar name to Jonathan in
I think it'd be the same.
Wisconsin?
I think it'd honestly be the same.
Same, just Jonathan. That's exciting.
Your name means nothing, Jonathan. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was going to comment back on the topic of, I want to say Bjorn's parents, Michael's parents.
Yeah.
Is what was really important for me is that everybody see that Justin has kind of gotten enveloped into an entire family that includes the dynamic of a strong mother and father who love him unconditionally. So that was one of the reasons I really wanted the parents to come in. And we got a comment when the first episode was playing that someone commented on the father's lines, unless my two sons are there with me. And I think recognizing, that the wording of a lot of that was so specific because it needed to be understood that Justin sees this man as his father figure, and this father figure sees Justin as one of his sons. So he is 1000% accepted into this family, no questions asked.
Yeah, that little scene in the kitchen with the water glasses, I've seen it a couple times now, and it actually really gets me. It's really the things that Greg's character says are just really incredibly sweet, and really what everybody wants to hear for sure. Happy anniversary, Thomas. Congratulations, 20 years. My gosh, well done. I don't want to share too many personal details, but we hear from folks who've seen the film, and I recently, Michelle shared a really heartfelt letter from a fan who is, has been, I think it's maybe 20 plus years now with his husband, and hearing what they went through, and the trials and vicissitudes of marriage, and coming out on the other end, stronger for it and staying together. It's just that's such a beautiful thing to hear. So congratulations, Thomas. Keep it up.
Thank you, Thomas, for all your support. It's meant he's been one of our earlier supporters. He discovered the feature film very early on. The feature film has actually been live on YouTube now. I think it'll be a year next week. And to date, I think it has like 2,600,000 views, which is really phenomenal and exciting. And there are 2 uploads of the film. So we had to re-upload. There was a comment here from Matt Affleck that it looks like you just finished watching the short series and you were commenting on episode 2. And what you said was, I was very intrigued when Justin had to become the stronger partner in the relationship in the movie. Will that happen again? And I think we were talking a little bit about how it really needs to be, every successful couple has a strong give and take. I mean, clearly as a writer, when I write things, it's from my personal perception frequently that I will write scenarios or sentences, and sometimes, it's like what I write is like overly dramatic or overly, it's like, would you really talk like that in real life? I don't know. Where Michael said to him, our lives together are not a race. There is no scorecard. That's kind of my personal beliefs in relationships, and how they function at a high level is when your relationship works that way. So in this particular instance, Michael needed to be the stronger one to help Justin through a scenario. But in the upcoming 3 episodes, they flip again, and Justin becomes the stronger one when Michael needs him. So that will always be the case. And then there are many, many times where they're both just living their lives and doing well, and but they're there for each other when they're needed to be. Michael's parents are the dream. I don't disagree with you. Darren, looks like there's a question for you.
Yeah, what do you say, Darren? What was it like to be on your side of the camera?
What's it like to be on my side of the camera?
And also your side of the face shield and the double mask. And
Very sweaty.
Fair enough. Yes.
Yeah, that's a pretty broad question. That's hard to answer succinctly, but in terms of this project, I think it goes both ways for every project. There's always a little bit of anxiety and wanting to do the best work you can, but at the same time, you have to be having fun, because filmmaking it can be very stressful. But if you're not having fun at the same time, then you shouldn't be doing it. But the reason I say that is just because working on this project and having Bjorn and Jonathan and Beth and Maggie in front of the camera makes it really fun, and they're all really high energy, and we all get to joke around a lot, and that makes it really fun to do these projects, even though the subject matter at times can be not fun.
Yeah, I mean, I would say our between you and the cast, keeping it light during those moments when we could really helped us, I think, get through some of those heavier emotional moments. Or if I just needed like a little something to make me smile, I could just take a look at whatever cat themed shirt you were wearing for the day, and that would always warm my heart a little bit. Yeah. Now, Darren, I remember you mentioning that it had been a little while since you had worked on a narrative. You've been doing you've done a lot of music videos, and you've been doing a lot of technical work with your own company, with working on television programs and things like that. What was that like for you to get back into filming a narrative style?
Yeah, it took a little getting into the swing of things, because I mainly do post-production stuff now. So being on set again took some adjusting and getting back into the flow of like, oh, this is the order of how things are done and get into that mindset of how do you point a camera at someone again, stuff like that. I'm joking a little bit. I lost my train of thought, but
how to point a camera without breaking your shoulder with those really long takes.
Yeah, that was a learning experience too. But yeah, I totally lost my train of thought. I had something I was gonna say, but I forgot it.
It's okay. We forget to act too after not doing it for a while.
Yeah.
I love the contraptions you pulled out for filming this time. I don't know what to call that thing you were wearing. It just reminded me of the fish from Finding Nemo, with like the little light in front of it.
It's a torture device is what it is.
I was waiting for a very technical name from you, but torture device is fine. We can call it that too.
Yeah. But I also say it's definitely weird filming with COVID as an added aspect of everything. That was also a learning experience. And I don't think I've washed my hands in a single day more than during shooting this.
Yeah, with little handy squeezies of disinfectant in between.
Yep.
It's like a fanny pack with dispensers like all the way around. So like every cast member can get to it at the same time, but like keep distanced. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm super glad you came back for it, Darren. I think if anything, looking at some of the shots that we got in the short series, it is evidence that you should continue to be working on narrative film for sure, as much as you can while you're busy with post-production work with your own company.
Well, I appreciate that. And I think y'all should be acting in stuff forever. So same to you.
Whatever I do, I shouldn't be the one holding the camera. I know that much.
Unless you're acting holding the camera.
Well, funny enough, that may happen for Bjorn in the future. Wink, wink.
Oh.
I feel like Darren should have a walk-on role at some point. And you can literally just walk on and walk off if that's what you want to do. I think that would be awesome.
Everybody else in the original film crew did. I know that.
Yep.
Most of our crew was extra.
I still love that butt shot in the opening. That's my favorite. Yeah, the Isaiah's close up.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a question here that says, will Justin and Michael be having more kids? I can't answer that officially, but I gotta say, like, this office be closed. So if they do, they'll be searching for employment elsewhere. I think Brooke is in a place in her life where she'll be looking potentially to have her own kids way off in the distant future when she's maybe like 90, but they won't be having another Brooke baby. That's for sure.
What do you think, Maggie? Does Mandy need some siblings? Or should we find a new surrogate? Or
I think that Mandy does not need siblings. That's a lot, and I don't want them.
Fair enough.
It'd be a big age gap.
Yes, that would be accurate.
Michelle's loving this because she's getting a bunch of ideas running through her head right now.
Yeah, episodes 7 through 11, right?
Talking about me or Mandy? Maggie.
You, Michelle.
Yeah.
Well, both, I guess.
Right. Well, Maggie clearly has some thoughts, some very powerful thoughts on the subject matter. As the writer, I have not had that planned. No. Leave all of you. I think having a 13-year-old daughter is, I think that's a lot to focus on. So I was not planning on, maybe a furry pet, but, or a child, but not an actual child. Beth, you're a riot. I was taking a drink when you said that. That's funny. No. COVID lights up in the future. Would Sire Tobin and other characters enter the future movies and short films? That was Emily. Emily, yes, that answer to that is yes. I've been in touch with, his name is Joel, who played Sire Tobin, or Mark, and another gentleman who was in the feature film who played Todd. His name is Michael. They will be coming back in the next few episodes when, all the college friends, I think, stay in touch as college friends do, but step up when someone is in need of more support sometimes. So there's another hint, but yes, 2 of the college friends will make a revisit and we'll meet some new people from Michael's social circle to kind of step up and become a support system when Justin and Michael need it. Dog would be so cute.
The good thing is Darren has a background in animal filming.
What? Yes, I do. Yeah, because working with animals and children are the 2 most important things you can do in your life as an actor, is to have that experience. And because if you ever want to understand what it feels like to be upstaged, you do it.
We could have a hobby farm.
A hobby?
Oh, sure. Pygmy goats.
Is that what a hobby farm is? I've never heard that.
Oh yeah. Have
It's
goat
like a
milk.
farm.
See, when you say
Yeah.
hobby farm, I'm thinking arts and crafts. Now you're saying goats.
Just a
Yeah.
small farm.
Okay. All right.
A farmlet.
A
Maybe some
farm?
bees. We can have our own honey. It's a
Not
whole
interesting.
thing.
I think we should get a hedgehog.
We?
A shared hedgehog.
We'll be weekend hedgehog parents.
Wow. What is that?
Sorry, my computer was having a small stroke. Wow. What did you say about a dog? Did you say dog?
Mm.
Yeah,
my
it was
dog,
brought up.
my little dog is really photogenic. Maybe we should cast Nymeria.
Oh, is she trained? Like, how well are her listening? Okay, maybe not.
Big ears, doesn't listen.
We'll have to get a dog actor. I think that would be the only way Darren would be like, okay, with us filming with a pet or a hamster. It's in a cage and it can be put away.
Only if it's like Wilfred, if it's a human in an animal suit.
Definitely. Yeah.
I have a lot of
Michael,
small humans like on notice, I can get some of those.
On retainer, some small humans on retainer.
Yeah. I've got one right now. She is so cute. She's 5. Super cute. She's playing a mouse in a show that we're doing with the children's theater. So she's adorable. She'd be great as a dog.
Children's theater. Let's
Oh,
put
and-
this in context.
Yeah.
In Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, just in case you're coming in just now, we're just saying that we should cast a human as the dog in the family.
You don't have children.
We don't just have children away in a closet. I just know many tiny children. That's all. Not creepy, totally normal.
Totally normal.
Totally normal.
Moving right along. Justin and Michael almost had a couple of pet cats, right? I mean, that was a whole thing. Filming in a house where cats lived and wanted to be on camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's totally, like, the more I've seen the episodes, I notice all these little hidden gems throughout of things that I'm like, oh, somebody didn't catch that before it like made it all the way down the line. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone finds anything like that. And there's one in the blooper reel that always cracks me up with Bjorn when he comes out of the shower and the cat that popped up in one of the days.
Oh yeah.
That one cracks me up. Just
On
the
the
tail.
bed.
Michelle, is the blooper reel going to be, is that also up on the More Than Only YouTube page for people to, if they've watched all the episodes and they want a little more?
Sorry, I had to unmute or mute for a second. Yes, we have blooper reels for all 3 episodes, and we will be releasing them. We haven't yet. I was kind of waiting to let them get out there and give people a chance to see them. But we created 3 blooper reels, 1 for each episode. So you get to kind of see some of what happens behind the scenes with these guys. And like Darren was saying, it's a lot of fun on set. It really is. And, you know, watching, one of the really cool things about Jonathan and Bjorn and Beth as adult performers who've been doing this for a while, and I think Darren would concur, is that they self-correct a lot. So it's like they always know when they've missed a moment or missed a beat or missed a line, and they just kind of, you know, they have that moment of, that was wrong, but then they go right back to it and completely support each other through that. So it's phenomenal. But when you catch those little moments on screen, and it doesn't happen a lot with any of them, I mean, they're all usually pretty solid when they come to set. But it's always fun when just little things go awry, or a phone rings, or, you know, just anything that kind of drags you out of the movie world and back to the real world. And, you know, where we filmed, like we said, there was 3 cats, and, you know, occasionally one of them would wander onto set, you know, so you could kind of hear somebody say, strike the cat, which means like not the cat, but like take the cat and move them out of the set area. You know, so that was always fun when they'd pop up at the worst possible time sometimes. Yeah. So be aware it's, we've been live for about 56 minutes and loving chatting with you guys. If you have any last questions, feel free to throw them our way. So if all goes well, if we get to film in June, and again, that's COVID related at this point, everybody's on board. Everybody has said that they're definitely interested. So far, I've gotten positive responses to, I have sent everybody in the cast and crew script number 4 and script number 5, at least the rough cut of them. I'm finishing writing script number 6 right now, in kind of an abundance of everything else I've got going on in my life. So my hope is to have all 6 out to everybody in the next month. And if COVID allows, we're going to film in June. And so based on that projection and how this went, my guess would be, Darren, you can nod yes or no if you agree or disagree, but I would say by the end of the year that those 3 would be ready to release in theory. It took us, I think, about 6 months to do post-production of the first 3. So I would guess it would be approximately 6 months. So hopefully by the end of the year, we would have 3 more live. And you know, one of the things I've been working on is that we would really like to pursue other projects as well that can support the LGBT community. So we've talked about maybe doing some documentaries. One of the real common themes that I got from the film was how wonderful it was to see an LGBT couple that developed slowly and became invested in one another. And it wasn't about sex. It wasn't about drugs. It was, you know, and nobody had to die and nobody had to have, you know, an awful disease. You know, but even though Justin and Michael's story is fictional, there are non-fictional couples that have done that had that same experience. And so we talked about doing documentaries. We talked about doing and developing a podcast. We've talked about other films that I would love to see that have similar romantic comedy vibes. So we have made More Than Only into a nonprofit so that we can kind of get into some educational and support and things like that for the LGBT community. And so when we kind of finish that process or get through that, then we would like to do more, including More Than Only stuff. And I'm currently seeking and hoping to find, you know, like producer type support that would allow us to possibly film even more often and do more with More Than Only on a regular basis, as well as other things.
Yeah, even More Than Only.
that question about the bloopers was already there, or was that brand new, about when are the bloopers coming out? We'll start releasing them. Today's Saturday, right? So we'll start releasing them next week. We're going to have to kind of build up some content again to start, keeping you guys with content coming from us as we work on other bigger projects like this behind the scenes. So I will start releasing them. And we have a total of 17 minutes of bloopers. And right now we're prepared to release 3. So we'll have to figure out. Oh, I was also going to mention, for those of you who are listening, that we are also going to set up to either auction off or sell actual props and things from the feature film as well as the short films, including the puzzle that you saw Justin putting together. There's actually 2 of those puzzles because we had to have 2 by the time we got to set, so that one was fully constructed and ready to go together, because it was actually a very complicated puzzle. When I had it ordered and made, there was far too much black. And so that was quite complicated. It took me 12 hours to construct that puzzle. So I had to come to set with it ready to go. And then I had another puzzle in pieces. So there are ways that you could get a little bit from the set. And Jonathan reached out to me and said that he found something from the feature film recently. Different things like that where, you could get some memorabilia and support our future filming. Any last comments from anybody? I'm going to go on mute again real quick, but feel free.
I'm not sure what that's in response to, but to the user Quiet is Okay, who said, gasp, hell yeah, ditto. To whatever you're talking about. Memorabilia.
I want some more.
It's just a funny comment. Expect everyone to want the puzzle. Yeah, that stuff should be available on the website, hopefully within the next, I would say by within a week. So yeah, check that out if you're interested. And I just want to say again, thank you everyone for all of your support, financially, verbally, all the emails, and like DMs that people send. I know the boys especially, I get some sometimes too. It's just really humbling, I guess, to hear from all of you in that aspect, and to be a part of a project that's really touching so many people on a deeper level, and as well as giving you some laughs here and there. So thank you for being a part of this with us. It's really special.
Yeah, 100% echo that. Love hearing from you all. It's so touching. Like I said, it's a dream come true to hear from folks that want to see more from us, and I can't wait to have the opportunity to keep bringing more to you. And thanks again for everybody who stuck with us today in the Q&A, and this was really fun. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. We love hearing your stories. They inspire us to create more stories. Thank you.
Sorry, I had to turn my sound on. Yeah, I'll echo and mimic everything that everybody else has said. It's a pleasure and a very unexpected journey that more than only has allowed me, and I feel so blessed that I get to continue to write this story, and that I'm surrounded by such great people who are so wonderful to know and consider friends, family to some extent, and that we get to share it with all of you is just beautiful. And I thank you for that, truly, from the bottom of my heart. So, and we can't wait to do it again. So stay in touch with us, reach out to us, email us. If you go to our website, there's an email there. You can always email that. And that actually comes directly to me. We look forward to hearing your comments about the short films. So share away. I'm super excited. Spread the word that they're out there, and the more word we spread, the easier it is to attract people who might want to come along and help us produce this series. I'm very, very proud of it and the end result. I think Darren and his team, his post-production team, his production team are just absolutely phenomenal. And what they've put together, that beach sequence, when the two men go down to the beach at midnight, is just one of the most beautiful sequences that I have watched just that minute and a half of that film so many times, just because I just think it's just so beautifully photographed. So, share and let others know and become part of the More Than Only family. And the feature film is currently been picked up on multiple sites and actually the film is just getting ready to premiere on Deku. I think in 2 weeks, and Bjorn and John, well, I've heard from Jonathan and Bjorn, we still need to talk and see if you were cool, and Beth, they've asked us to do an Instagram takeover for Deku before it goes live. What is he doing? I can't see his face. Oh, sorry. But the film right now is on Amazon Prime. It's on Gay Binge TV. It's on Hoopla. It's on Tubi. It's on Zumo. It's on Plex, and it's on Reverie. So it's out there, and we're hoping to keep pushing it further out there. So thank you all so very much for everything. Any last things anybody wants to say?
It's been said.
It's been said. All right, you guys have a wonderful time. Thank you for coming today, watching the short films with us, chatting with us a little bit. It's been an absolute pleasure. We will look forward to doing it again and getting you some behind the scenes footage when we all get together again and film, hopefully here in a few months. So thank you guys. Take care. Please stay safe. We love you guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
I just ended the stream. Hang on.